the closer we get to the official launch of the DCU. I'm not counting Creature Commandos because that was freaking whack. But James Gunn's Superman trailer that he released when the tickets went on sale, why wasn't that the first trailer? I would have been on board since day one if that was the first trailer they dropped 3 months ago. What the freaking hell is this marketing team doing? Finally, the marketing team is doing absolute freaking numbers. You're getting Warstu on board. What the freaking hell's happening? I'm actually really looking forward to James Gunn's Superman movie. Yo, Warstu, switch up. No, I just think finally the movie looks cohesive and it looks absolute fire. Not only that, James Gunn's recently done an interview with, I believe it was Empire magazine that we're going to go over. James Gunn's finally speaking like his CEO. He's finally speaking like someone who has a freaking plan. And Warstu can get back on dropping DC content. So we're going to go over a lot of things because it's one thing hearing hearsay. It's one thing hearing fake-ass scoopers making up things. It's another thing when James Gunn says something, because once James Gunn said it, it's on record. So if he goes back on what he said, then we can only put the responsibility and blame on him. So James Gunn clarifies the fate of Warner Bros. Doesn't depend on Superman. Well, this was kind of obvious, right? You know why? Because every big multinational globalization company, any huge-ass company basically runs on debts, you know? You know the saying where it says, don't use your own money, use credit cards. But when it comes to DC and, you know, Warner Bros., Disney's in huge-ass debt as well. The difference is it's the level they can pay it back. So, of course, when I kept saying, yo, if the Superman movie doesn't do well, they're in trouble. But obviously, James Gunn's not saying he doesn't want the movie not to do well. They've got to do well in order for people to actually buy into it. So he says this, that's not the truth for me. My truth is this is the first movie out of the DC studio. Other people may say it's got to be a home run. Nothing else. I'm like, no, I'd be very happy with double. Effing Iron Man wasn't the be and end all. It wasn't Avatar. We're doing something that's piece of puzzle. It's not the puzzle itself. We have Peacemaker. We have Supergirl. And we want to do so to make a movie that people love and they feel connected to these characters. It's not just one movie. It's not everything. But you got to understand, James Gunn, you also said this movie has to do well or else there is no DC Studios. You also said that. I hate it when there's an article going on about all the problems, blah, 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 blah. And that's not even more pressure on James Gunn and Superman. I'm like, guys, I'm not responsible for that. I'm responsible for the piece of the pie. I've got to make my budget back. I'm very happy with that. So that's interesting. Very interesting. But let's be honest, everyone already knew that. They did. So a Rolling Stones interview, sorry, it wasn't Empire. Like, we're going to go over a lot of DC stuff here. So let's cover it. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has officially been retitled Supergirl, landing June the 26th exclusively in cinemas 2026. Supergirl, I think that's maybe a bad call. I mean, Woman of Tomorrow, Supergirl. The problem is, unless you're an actual DCC advocate fan, you wouldn't really know who she is unless you watch the TV show. James Gunn revealed an untitled film was killed due to poor screenplay. Everybody wanted to make the movie. It was greenlit, ready to go. The screenplay wasn't ready, and I couldn't do a movie without screenplay not good. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that was the Authority movie that I really wanted, but if they can't make it, they can't make it. Superman will explain how Lois can't see past Clark's glasses. It comes up later in the movie. It's explained. She says it. We mention it, and it's a one-off, and people chuckle, but there's stuff later in the movie about the glasses that are canon, that's canon in the comics. Interesting. Gunn also added, Gunn says he wanted his Superman to be vulnerable. This is interesting. I see the things online. Who would beat whom? Homelander or Superman? Who? Whatever. Adam Warlock or Burn Bright. I'm like, this is stupid conversation. Like, so then whatever would win this fight means that they're the best, because I just go out and write God man who can destroy you with a wink and I win all the best fights. But I didn't want Superman who could punch planets. And also, we're creating a whole universe now. So what's a girl with wings going to do in the face of that? So here's a less powerful Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Pretty powerful. They're all pretty powerful. But it's interesting because Superman literally could punch planets if he wanted to. Gunn speaks about a Marvel DC crossover. It's never going to happen regardless to what he says. Never going to happen. This could easily happen simultaneously to that. I think it would be interesting, but I also think people are a little over it. I think people want to see good stories with their superheroes, and that's what matters. They need more variety. They need just more quality storytelling, and they're having Spider-Man and Superman team up isn't going to do it if it's the shit. So it's going to come from a real place, and it's a real hard to make that work. I honestly don't think James Gunn could get it done, even though he literally was Kevin Feige's second lieutenant at one point. I don't even think James Gunn can get it working. James Gunn has begun writing his next project. Interesting. Nothing yet. I'm just getting into it. I really have a hard time writing when I'm in the late stages of post-production, which is where we're almost done. But I really have a hard time. I traditionally start writing heavily the day whatever my last movie comes out. I write treatments first. So I'm a couple of treatments in. Interesting. Now, this is what I've waited for a long time. Currently, Batman is DC's main priority. Gunn confirms he is not penning Brave and the Bold himself, but working very closely with the writer to ensure it's executed correctly. Thank God! Because I don't think Gunn's very good at writing. I think he's a very good director, just not a good writer. Doesn't want to make a film simply because it's a Warner Bros. Biggest character, but because they need him for him to be in the DCU. Exactly. Described as not exactly the same as Reeves' Batman, but not campy. Good. I don't want them to mess that up. James Gunn reaffirmed that Batman Part 2 is not cancelled. We don't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time. Let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean. Let him do his thing. So basically, he said the exact same thing that he's always said when it comes to this. So that is some pretty cool information. Obviously, we've not gone over absolutely every little detail, but I think that's the main vocal point. So we are actually going to get a Batman in the DC universe, which is cool. He also went on to say the priority is Wonder Woman and Batman. Obviously, we can't have a Justice League unless we essentially have the founding fathers of the DCU. Now, this is some pretty cool information that's come out. Nothing that we didn't already know. James Gunn says priority is finishing Wonder Woman Batman scripts. He isn't writing these projects, but he's working closely with them. Now, there was a bunch. I mean, I don't want to make this video too long, but James Gunn's actually starting to win me over. No, I'm not like one of them SnyderVerse channels that are converted to being James Gunn's, like, you know, adopted son. We're not on that level, but I am starting to like what James Gunn's saying. James Gunn clears up comments about the Green Lantern show being grounded. I meant grounded in terms of fully rounded characters, making it realistic choices. Many off-world science fiction stories are grounded. Yeah, James Gunn's starting to say some pretty cool stuff. He went on to say his personal favorite Batman runs are the Morrison run, Long Halloween, Dark Knight, Returns of Course of Owls. I've literally got all them Batman books right next to me, but I've never read a comic book in my life, according to the comment section. James Gunn says DC Studios are the ones who are in charge of in the Fortnite stuff, but they're only in control of Marvel and TV related stuff in Fortnite, and Fortnite and DC Comics are the ones who decide to put Tim Drake in Fortnite. So yeah, people were thinking like Tim Drake was going to be in the Batman movie or something because of that. Interesting. Ryan North has more DC projects coming after the Crypto the Last Dog. Interesting. So we've essentially gone over the main information about this article. It is cool that James is actually seeming like he's finally reining it in. I know he recently responded to a SnyderVerse bro. I mean, I think that's bad taste personally. I mean, I see the SnyderVerse converted channels to James Gunn kind of lovers are loving and lapping that up. I don't really understand why that's a good thing. I mean, he's a CEO. He needs to start acting like a CEO. So I don't understand why it's a good thing that James Gunn snapped back at a kind of person, which I also think that's a bit weird. James Gunn response, as he says, I think we'll survive. I'm not sure the 8 people that listen to that guy, I'm going out on a limb and guess it's a guy, is going to impact the course of events. I mean, people were saying this, right? Because the Flash movie had great reactions, had Tom Cruise, had everyone and their son saying it was a great movie, came out and flopped massively. And obviously the people editing the movie are the same people that did the Flash movie. James Gunn says costumes for DC characters will change over time. I mean, some of this stuff's pretty freaking obvious. Now, the funny thing is, James Gunn saying that to a Snyder bro could be a mic drop moment, but it also could backfire massively if the Superman movie doesn't do well. But I'm on board now because the last trailer was absolute fire. Batman won't be funny, campy Batman. Good. Get Alan Richardson on board. James Gunn keeps reiterating that Robert Pattinson is not going to be the DCU Batman. But everyone seems to think, I mean, I'd be down for that. Robin Pattinson and David Cornsweet, that would be freaking insane. James Gunn's DCU Batman tone will be in line with Batman animated series. That's insane. To be fair, I actually think obviously James Gunn said he's not writing it, but I would love the DCU Batman to be in line with the Arkham Batman. That would be freaking insane, lads, if we could get that. Make it make sense. And no, before you lads say I'm switching up, I've never actually switched up. I'm just starting to see now what he says stuff. There's a 6-year plan. There's an end game level plan to go somewhere, which is cool. Also, there's a TV show where they're going to put Darkseid in it. Zack Snyder is the blueprint. Yeah, we're still going to say that because you lads, I'm not switching up. I'm still a Snyder fan. You know, you can exclusively like both of them if you want. You don't have to just like one and not the other. Like I've always said, go on the Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face. Look at my reaction to the Suicide Squad movie on my Instagram account. I said it was good. I did. Not a fan of Creature Commandos, but James Gunn has alliterated time and time again. He isn't writing every single project. He's not behind the Batman, but whoever is behind the Batman, I really hope we get like an Arkham Asylum version of Batman. And also, I hope they make another Batman game with the Arkham franchise. Also, make a Superman game, make it make sense. I can't wait till you switched up comments down below. So mostly talking about Batman, talking a little bit about Superman. I'm hyped for the Supergirl movie, shot in the UK. We've done a video on it before. Does sound pretty cool. May Alcock is pretty cool. She's pretty cool in House of Dragons. Pretty excited for that next year. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us out on Twitter, Warstu G, and I will catch ya in another video very soon, guys. Catch ya later.